I've known you enough to see you do this and sort of create your own space and step into it in a bunch of different ways. And I'd heard the story about how you published the book. So I knew that, but I wanted to give you a chance to redo it and remember all of those things as we talked about that, because I want to have you back in that space of like intention and motivation and how you made these decisions, because I think that there's layers of this, but I think it's kind of scary on a bunch of different layers. So when you think back to that point as you were going through this process, do you remember still, and this is a hard thing to do, to look back and remember intention and motivation accurately, but let's do it anyway. So the what was the motivation and intention that was pushing you through getting over these hurdles at that time?
Mm. Well, I knew that what I was teaching was important. And I knew how many women, including myself, that were freer than they had ever been around food and body issues. And so I really felt like, as someone who had struggled with being on all kinds of crazy diets and doing all sorts of things to conform to culture at large, beauty standards, um I was really devoted to that message. I still am. And I actually just had a friend right before we jumped on this podcast. She's traveling and she's in the South where I'm from, and she took a picture of her breakfast plate, and it was like a buttermilk biscuit, grits with butter, bacon. And she said, I went power walking for 30 minutes in the rain to earn this plate. And the way I read her for filth, I was like, you don't have to run in the rain to earn your food, right? And so there's so much work yet to be done still,
Yeah.
because it's so permeated in our culture. So the way I kept going, like, you can see how hopped up I get about it. Like, I just want women to be free of these ridiculous rules that keep our capacity shrunk. So I'm always saying, like, let's focus on wage gap, not thigh gap, because that's like, the more we're consumed with that kind of crap, the less money we're earning, the less impact we're having. So I just kept connected to that, and that kept me going.